All right, I think it's working. All right, so today I'm going to show you how to install and get started with the Intel XDK. I've been using this for a little while now, and I really find that it's great both for starting up your projects, coding your projects, and for building your projects, and that to me is one of the important parts. So first of all, we're going to go to xdk-software.intel.com. Oh, I guess you just, yeah, anyway. I found that URL is the quickest, but yeah, I mean, Google it, Intel XDK. It'll be the first thing that comes up. And you'll see right in the middle there's a download, so you're going to download that. And you'll go through this process, which I've already gone through, so I'm going to jump back here. All right, so once you've got it downloaded, well, apparently I'm not going to jump back. There we go. Okay, so once you've got it downloaded, make sure that you go through the registration process. You're going to want to sign up and join the Intel Developer Zone because you're going to need that login. If you want, pause the video now and yeah, go install it, sign up for an account, resume the video when you're ready. All right, you're back. So once you've got the XDK installed, we're going to start it up. It's actually starting up on my other monitor. Let me drag it over here. Swoosh. All right. So when you first start it up, I'm going to close off this project. Yes. All right. So when you first get started, you'll see there's a start a new project here on the left. If you don't see this area on the left, it may be down at the very bottom left. There may be a little start a new project there that opens up this panel. Make sure that you go into the top right portion here and log in. So I'm going to stay logged in for now, but you'll click on there and it will give you the option to log in using the XDK account that you had. So what we're going to do is we are going to start with a template. Actually, no, start with the app designer. Sorry, on the left-hand side there, you'll see start with the app designer. I'm going to call this one, sorry, my cat just jumped up. There we go. We're going to call this one I don't know, whatever, sample app _01, just because I'm pretty sure I haven't used that one. Then you're going to go down to the bottom right and hit create. And you'll see, congratulations, your project has been created successfully. Now, the next thing that comes up is select a framework. This is, if you want to use Bootstrap or jQuery Mobile or Topcoat, you can. For now, all I'm going to cover is using the app framework, and that just gives it a little bit of a preview there. It pretty much just uses the default components for whatever phone it's installed on. So I'm going to hit select, and there you go. So what we have now is an app. If you want, you can already click on the emulate tab, and it'll just load up your blank app within that space. We're going to go back to develop, and the first thing I'm going to do is I want to make sure that I've got an area on the app that it has a place in the middle that can have a centered button. So it's really easy. I'm going to start off just showing you how to implement a grid system within your app and how to put a button right in the middle. So on the left here, you'll see that there's a whole bunch of different tabs. We've got pages, themes, controls, service methods, DOM, the view, all these things. So the top three control these things. So you're going to want to make sure that you have controls open, and we're going to grab the grid and drag it right onto the stage there, right into your app. And you'll see here that gives us a little 3x3 grid. On the right hand side, you'll see that there's some active styles. There's the D margins, grid height, and grid text. So the grid text just allows you to define the font size. The margins is just how far away it is from the edges of the screen, and the grid height is the one we're looking for. So you'll see it says 50 VH here. That's 50% basically. We're going to type in 100, and you'll see that'll make it span the entire height. And I'm just gonna dump my margins for now. Good. So now we've got a 3x3 grid, and right in the middle here is where I want to put my button. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to drag in a button. So that again is in the controls under form. I'm going to drag that. You can see there's a button right there. I'm going to drag that over, and I'm going to put it right in the middle. So you can see that one also has its styles. Initially the margins are set there. You can add in new elements there if you want, and you can control things like what icon it has. So if I wanted it to have, I don't know, let's see, do they have a little like mapper? There we go, there's a little pin. You can set an ID on it, which is always a good practice. So I'm going to call this one BT send for now, and I'm going to type in send info. Good. And so now we've already created a button. If you want to go back up again along the top, you'll see we have develop, emulate, test, debug, profile, and build. We can hit emulate, and you'll see we've got a button that says send info. Now it's a little weird, I find, on some machines that the button doesn't come up properly when you first render it in debug mode, in emulation mode, but it actually does work on the phone itself. So I'm going to switch back to an iPhone 6, or we can switch to a Plus if we want, get the bigger screen. And you'll see it's always placing that button in the middle. I won't worry about how to make it perfectly square or whatever for now. Right now we're just going to get it working. So we're going to go back to Develop tab. And you can see here on Send, we've got Send Info button there. And you can see we've got a trigger action. On the right hand side on this panel, we've got a trigger action, and it says button BT send, and there's a not set. You're going to want to drop that down, and you'll see that there's a custom script. If you select custom script, then you can click on the edit script button that comes up, and this is where you can put in your JavaScript. So for now, let's just start off and type in alert, open bracket, quote, information sent, exclamation mark. I'm going to close my bracket there and close my quotes. So close quotes first, close bracket, put a semicolon at the end, and now you can go back here to, so you'll see here, next thing we're going to want to do is make sure you save it, Control S, and then I'm going to click back on the left hand side here. There's a working panel, and that so up that way up. So on the left hand side there's a working panel, and that shows what files you're currently working on. When you create the app, you'll see that it says your simple app 01 or whatever you named it. Underneath that is a www folder. That's actually where all the files go. So you've got your app framework files in there, your CSS, your JavaScript file, and then you've got your index.html, which is the working file that we're currently on right now. So again, we're going to go back to emulate, and you'll see when we click the button, we get an alert now, information sent, and that would actually come up as a system alert on the on your Apple or Android or Windows Phone or whatever you're building as. And that's pretty much it for now. One of the cool things you can do from here is if you want to test it on your phone, you've got a lot of options. You can actually plug your phone in And there we go. So if you go to the test panel, this actually lets you launch the app with a QR code if you install the Intel XDK app on your phone, which I happen to have. So let me pop it open here for you. So it's an app called Intel XDK App Preview. And you can see in the list there probably, I've got Simple App 01. I'm going to click on that. Then you get a launch app. And there you go. There's my ill-formed button, which when I click on it, tap on it, you can see I get the little information sent alert. And we've just created an app and pushed it to our phone. So that's just the testing mode. You can also then go into begin debugging on device here. And now when I launch my app, if I'm lucky, usually it shows me that I'm... Oh, sorry. In order for debugging to work, you actually have to grab this script at the bottom. So you see down here, it says copy this script. And actually, this is a good thing to learn, is I'm going to go back into develop mode, and you can see I'm on index.html. It doesn't seem like there's anywhere to put the code. You switch this at the top here, this code. There's a button there that lets you go in, and actually in the app that they build, there is usually a spot right here for it. Yeah, so it says, here we go, place your remote debugging script from the test tab here. So I'm going to replace the one that's there. Whoops, save it. And I'm going to go back into test. You're going to want to push those files up. And once they're up, you can go back into the app. I'm going to click on my simple app again. Again, we're going to go into launch app, and so we're going to go begin debugging on device. And now, in theory, when I open up my app, there you go. So you can see my app is running on here, and you can see that I've got targets green and green there. When you go into elements, if I go into, for example, content, then we've got our panels, and you'll actually be able to see as I'm mousing over it here on the phone, it's highlighting where you are in the code. So you can see here we go, we can see each row highlighting as I mouse over them on the phone. There's where my button is. Here's my button itself. So yeah, you can debug right on the phone. You can check your console to see what logs are being sent and what's being executed. You can check your network to see what's being loaded. It's a pretty amazing debugging tool, especially considering I don't even have to plug in my phone. But if you want to, you can plug in your phone, go through the, you can plug in your Android, your iOS device, and you can do it right from there. The other thing you can do is profile, and this allows you to go even more in depth into it. I almost never even need this, not for simple apps anyway. And then your final tab across the top here is your build, and that lets you build it for whatever device you want. So you can see if I hit build crosswalk for Android, you can actually click on that, sends it off to the server, They build it for you as an APK, and then they'll email you, and you'll see here a screen to download it. And that's an app that you can just distribute. You can download it and distribute it through your own devices, or you can distribute it through the store once you're ready to go. And I think that's about it for the first kind of quick introduction to XDK. I think that's really going to get you going on it. And yeah, so explore, have fun, and I'll have another video soon.